Welcome back to the Metro on 1019 WDET FM, Detroit Public Radio. I'm Tia Graham. Now, Melanie Hearn is one of the most unique voices in stand-up comedy. From her unique style to her strong energy, she often leaves audiences wanting more with mouths wide open, including myself. Melanie began her career in Detroit and quickly became a favorite at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle in Royal Oak. And since then, she's opened up for comedians like Maria Bamford, Mark Curry, and Preacher Lawson. Melanie has performed at big-time venues like Hollywood Improv, and she can also be seen as a contributing voice on Live in the D on Channel 4. Melanie will be headlining tomorrow night's WDET's What's So Funny About Detroit event. It's a live stand-up comedy show that's also a benefit for public radio, hosted by In the Groove's Ryan Patrick Hooper. And here to speak with us about the event and her career, we have comedian and native Detroiter Melanie Hearn here with us. Melanie, welcome to the Metro.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I do want to say a heads up to you guys. You can find tickets to What's So Funny About Detroit by going to WDET.org/events. Tickets are also sold at the door. But Melanie, you're a native Detroiter. What part?
Northwest side of Detroit.
All
Born
right.
and raised on Finco.
All right. Joy Road in Southfield for me.
Okay.
But how has growing up in the city of Detroit influenced your comedy? I mean, most of us know about, cap sessions. We know what it means to be in a session and going in.
Also, I came from a big family. So, it was a whole thing of roasting. We had a roasting table, the whole thing. And then I'm just going to be honest. I was a chubby kid in the early 90s.
Same.
Before elastic and all that stuff. So you kind of had to have a strong defense. So it was like either it was like prey or the predator. So a couple times after you get roasted, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm not about to keep doing this. So that was, and growing up in Detroit, and you have to be quick and on your feet and stuff like that because everybody's funny, just inherently. So I think just this being a tough city, and then let's just be honest, the dozens can turn into some hands. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you got to be able to be able to roast people so that people won't bother you. So I think it was a defense mechanism for me.
For those who don't know, the dozens basically going back and forth with jokes. But it really will quickly turn into hands. Like it literally will turn into fighting if you're not too careful with your words and the way that you use your jokes. But if you can just go into that, because just like you were just saying, I also grew up as a chubby kid. So you had to grow up with a defense. You had to grow up with some type of boundary around you in order to protect yourself. So talk about how comedy helped bring you out of who you were, your shell.
Well, actually, I can remember the day. I was in the 5th grade, and it was this guy Harvey. He would always make fun of me and always say, stuff. And I remember I said something and the class laughed. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I might be on to something. Uh-oh. And then I said something else and they laughed again. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I might got a formula here. And then I just kept on. And then I just was known for the class clown. And people was like, hey, just don't roast Mel, because Mel will roast you back. So it just kind of became a thing. And, and the more insults you hurled at me, there's nothing that anybody can say on the main stage, any comments, any IG, or nothing that I have not already heard. So it doesn't bother me.
That's the thing, too. Just being born and raised here in the city of Detroit, you have that protection around you, I guess, of just being here and growing up here and understanding how to navigate. But as well, having that power to know that the worst things that have ever happened or said to me or been hurled at me, I've overcome. Yeah. So, can you just go into that? Like, I'm on stage now. People are hurling things at me, but I've heard it all.
Yeah, I'm a grown woman now. So, whatever you can say to me, I can say back. But if I can take it at 10 and 9, and I can take it on the chin at 10 and 9, then what can you say to me now at this age, at this big age? Nothing much. So, it did build up that tough skin for me to be able to go out and handle different crowds and different audiences. And people will say, you heard Dave Chappelle say that Detroit is a tough crowd because we just a tough group of people. It's just like, ha 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 ha, what's next? Ha ha ha, what's next? So once you get them, then and I'm like, the rest of the country is
it's just easy.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna be like whatever, but I can handle it a lot better. But I love the city. It taught me a lot.
We're going to get back into Detroit and its influence on you. But when you are preparing your comedy sets, what kinds of stories are you pulling from and spaces are you pulling from when you are putting them together?
So it's kind of a formula. We have what we call our tried and true. the things that I've worked on that I know that work. Then I have my new material. Usually I try to bridge in things that are happening to me in the moment, because those are the things that's closely related to me, and you'll get a lot of passion out of it. Like right now I do Instacart, like instant delivery services. So right now I got whole new jokes about that because it's close to my heart and it's close to my brain. So it's some stuff that as I work things out, I work it out kind of in a twofold. My tried and true stuff, I keep working on it, and then those new ideas and those new things that's kind of close to me. And a lot of stuff, sometimes you'll get on stage and you'll just spitball, things that come to me, and that's what we call freestyling. And I'll freestyle a lot, and stuff will just kind of come to me, and if the crowd is working with it, I keep it.
You just keep going down that lane.
I just keep going down that path.
Yeah, and speaking of Instacart, because I'm thinking to myself, every time I think about Instacart, I laugh and say, please don't let it be a man getting my groceries.
They'd be so frustrated in the store.
I mean, no shade to the men out there, but please, I just don't let it be a guy getting my groceries, because half the time they're replacing it or...
You know what they really are, and the other time is... I have to pick my order sometimes, because it's like, it is a lot of guys out there grocery shopping, and it was a guy trying to talk to me, and he seen the stuff in my cart, and I'm like, that's not for me. I don't eat all them noodles. I don't eat all that processed. It's not for me. Because he was looking like, you was vegan, but now I'm straight on you. And I'm like, he thinking I got 17 kids, because I got 18 boxes of Hawaiian punch in here. Them ain't my kids. I don't even have no kids, sir. Them ain't even my kids. So, you got to be careful. You trying to get chose out here while you're doing the grocery delivery service.
While you're doing the grocery delivery service, that is so funny to me. Right now, you're listening to The Metro on WDET, Detroit Public Radio. And we're continuing our stand-up comedy series, What's So Funny About Detroit? The event is happening tomorrow at the Old Miami in the Cass Corridor, and it will be headlined by Melanie Hearn, our guest right now, and we're speaking with her about her career as a comedian, but just speaking about your career and thinking about the Detroit audiences. What makes Detroit audiences so special?
Well, one, because they're our friends and family, number one, so you have to kind of get over that part. Like I said, what makes us special is that we are gritty. We are a very gritty crowd, more so than anybody else. Like I said, those Midwest towns. And I think what makes our crowd special is that people actually get up and make this a date night. They get up, they come, they spend money, they get a babysitter, so you owe it to them to give them a night. And these are real fans. People will say that New York and LA and Atlanta, those are industry towns. But places like Detroit, this is a hometown. This is where you'll have your real fan base, your real core fan base, people that will actually get up and come see you and really follow your career. Like, it mind boggles me that I have people that show up that was like, I start following your career back, 5-6 years ago, and they're still showing up. And those are the people, that's what makes Detroit crowd so special, because if they rock with you, they really rock with you. They really support you. They'll get on the road and come see you. I had somebody meet me in Tennessee, and it was like, that's what makes them so special, and if you can be your hometown hero and make your hometown laugh, then, you're doing a lot, because, even Jesus had to leave and come back before everybody fool with him. You know what I'm saying? So, that's really dope for me, so to be able to get some love in your hometown, that makes it sweet for me.
Yes. And I do want to go to a clip really quickly, but Detroit has changed a lot and it continues to change. We see it all the time. Once again, here's a quick clip from you.
As he mentioned before, I am from Detroit, not to be confused with Detroit, okay? Where all the white people live now, okay? I'm from Detroit, where we live on 6 Mile, not McNichols, okay? We live on Finkel, not 5 Mile. We live on 8 Mile. We know nothing about Baseline, okay? That's where I'm from. I'm from Detroit, the old Detroit. We used to ride down Belle Isle. You can smoke a little weed outside, see some fights, couple bums outside. That was a good time. You know what I'm saying? Now we got bike lanes and Starbucks and everything else. I'm telling you, every bar, after hours, juke joint I used to go to is a Quicken Loans or a Java House, okay?
So just listening to that clip of you talking about the city of Detroit and some of the changes that we've all clearly see and continue to experience, what do you make of all the changes happening in the city right now?
I address the elephant in the room through my comedy. It's like we are the world. We have to get along. And it did change overnight. It was like Noah's Ark, 2 by 2 by 2. And then here we are. So I address the elephant in the room, and I do cater some of my jokes, but like I said, I do about addressing the elephant in the room. And it's like, what's the old basketball player? The Dikembe Mutombo? No, you are in my house now. So you're in my house now. So you're gonna have to get it. And you cannot move to an urban city and not get urban comedy and get the things that come with it. So
I'm just because it's one thing I've noticed when I do see you or have seen you performed or seen some of the clips from you, you get it out of the way. You jump right to it. You talk about the audience immediately. Well, this is a pretty wide audience. Like that's something that you jump right into, and you address that elephant. And there is a lot of segregation in the city of Detroit, especially within the comedy scene. So what's the difference as a comedian for you doing stand-up in front of a majority Black audience versus a majority white audience, or is it just the same approach?
Delivery. If I'm in a urban room and a Black audience, then they kind of is quicker. It's joke for joke, and the audience has a higher expectation, so to speak, of comedy. And the mainstream rooms that we call it, they'll let you work it out a little bit. They'll let you write your jokes, get your jokes out, and all that kind of stuff. So I would say delivery is a big difference, and just kind of the atmosphere, because again, a lot of urban rooms is energy based. So you have music and comedians and people, and it's a big atmosphere. Like one thing, I went to the Fox and I saw Cat Williams and Bill Burr within 2 weeks of each other, and you couldn't tell me this was the same Fox theater, because where Cat Williams was there, it was like pandemonium and everybody dressed to the nines, and then Bill Burr is there and it's like quiet, no DJ, everybody looked like they just came from taking the trash out, got on flannels. So I mean, even down to the clothing style, everything was different. So I would say like delivery, just the whole energy atmosphere is a different thing, because again, most urban comics, even if we're low energy, the room still has high energy. So I would say the biggest thing is delivery.
Thank you for breaking that down in that way, because I think that was beautifully visual for people who understand comedy or in the scene. We all love both Cat Williams and Bill Burr, but like you said, there's two different deliveries there. There's two different delivery acceptances there as well. But how do you, thinking about this Detroit crowd, there are such high expectations like you were just talking about, we all know. Is it true for comedy too in terms of what it means to be, I guess you can say, funny, but also just making sure that you have a good show going on? Like, what are the expectations in terms of comedy shows in the city of Detroit?
Well, you always want to like I said, you always want to make sure that you have a good show. I think right now a good show in Detroit would be a show that's showing diversity, and because you do have so many different people here. So you do want to see, one thing is I don't want to see a whole male lineup, be it Black or whatever, because there are women in the audience. So you have to make sure that these lineups are diverse with women, men, everything, because there's some of everybody in the crowd. I think here we're getting really good at that. WDET, they have such an awesome lineup between the headliners and Ree Ledbetter and Joe Alt. Like, we're all so many different people, different styles and things like that. So to me, in essence, that will make a great comedy show, is showing a diversity of the community in which you're having a comedy show in.
And that's what I do love about what's so funny about Detroit, because that was the first place I saw you perform. That was the first place I saw T-Barb and a lot of other names throughout the comedy scene here in the city of Detroit. And I've become fans ever since, following along. But it took a community-based event for us to see some of the people who are literally our neighbors, who are making us laugh every single day. So if you could just talk a little bit about what's so funny about Detroit and why you like performing there so much.
One, it's just, first of all, the backyard is just such a dope atmosphere. The people are there for comedy. They are absolutely there for comedy. They're welcoming. They're pretty open. They're pretty liberal. They let me say, not like whatever I want, but it's just a very good atmosphere. This is probably, like I said, my third or fourth year doing this particular show. And it's actually one of the ones I look forward to throughout the year, because again, you're outside, it's nice weather. I get to work with my friends. Our summer shows are slow, and it's just a good vibe. Like, if you're looking for good vibes, for real, that's what I love about the show. I love Ryan. I love how he produces the show. Like I said, the lineups are always so diverse, and I get to work with friends and people I haven't seen in a while, and the audience gets to get so many different things. And then I get a lot of fans from there. So people who come back and come see me at different clubs and things like that. So it's just it's a vibe.
every time I see your name on a flyer or something like that, I'm just like, go Melanie, go, because I was so excited to see you, and I can't wait to see you again. But before we do let you go, what are some of the things that you want to let folks know about tomorrow's set? What? Because you're headlining, so we're going to be waiting in anticipation to see you. So what are some? Not a lot. Give us a little sneak peek.
I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit with, my new grocery shopping and things like that. And, we're going to talk about a little gentrification because, we doing a lot right now. Okay. We need to reel it back in. We're doing a lot. And it's just a lot of different topics that I have. And sometimes I just look at the crowd and see where I want to go from this, but we got some real spicy things to talk about tomorrow. So
looking forward to it. Melanie Hearn is a comedian and a native Detroiter. She will be headlining tomorrow night at WDET's Comedy Showcase, What's So Funny About Detroit, hosted by Ryan Patrick Hooper, host of In the Groove. It's at the Old Miami in the Cass Corridor. You can get your tickets at the door or head on over to WDET.org/events. Melanie, thank you so much, and we're all looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you for having me out. I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. It's gonna be fun.
Coming up, Rouge Park in Detroit is turning 100 years old this year. We'll take a look at the history and the future of the sprawling green space on the city's west side. You all stay right there. This is the Metro on WDET.